Howdy everyone, Pete Daddy here. Welcome to the live stream. Just got finished watching that epic Chelsea-West Brom match. Somehow Chelsea was able to come back to steal a point. Don't really know if it was deserved or not, but they kept fighting hard, but West Brom got a point. I was kind of hoping West Brom would hold it on out. I like Slaven Bilic a lot. I think he's kind of cool, but it ends up working out, whatever. So, hey Charlie, how you doing? Hey Danilo, hey Snows, thanks for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. Today I wanted to look some more at starter squads as we kind of work towards that. Yeah, Charlie, Man U snuck out another win. Manchester United got a penalty, and like even after play completed, they still got a penalty, so it was pretty crazy. I was also a little surprised. I kind of felt like that, I don't know if you guys watched it, but that the handball at the end, I kind of felt like if that was a defensive player, I know it kind of hit Havertz's ribs first and then kind of went off his arm. I almost feel like if that would have been a defensive player, they would have awarded a penalty, but they didn't. They didn't wave off the goal, but it is what it is. Let's see. Oh yeah, I know it was kind of crazy. I mean, I felt bad for them in a way, but it just ends up happening. Bruno always seems to get involved in some penalties. I feel like Manchester United's been bailed out by so many penalties lately, but I guess a pen is a pen, and you've got to take care of that. But first, I want to start off looking at some squads. I've had some people send me some squads on our Discord, so I want to look at Fakra. He has sent me 2 squads, so let's take a look at those first and foremost. Let's see. All right, so Fakra sent me this. This looks like an MLS blend. Okay, so I see this. This is the first team I've seen that's running Opara off Kim, which you could, in theory, once Opara has loyalty, and if he has an MLS manager or a US manager, could go up to 8 chemistry, which should be enough for Opara. Linking him with Yedlin, but one problem also, Yedlin is also going to be off Kim, so have a slight bit of a problem there with 2 cards off Kim. They both have enough pace where it's not going to make that big of a deal early on, but you always prefer to have, especially early on, you want to get every last bit of rating you can get out of these goal players. You want any boost they can get to get up there. So I do like this, getting Opara out there on 8. I don't think he's going to be that expensive. I think he could work just fine on 8, just because of that pace. So few center backs now has. Opara had his full stats released yet. That was one thing that's crazy. They still have some cards, like we're less. Hey, Mbabu, how you doing, brother? Get those Burger King Kings. But we are just like a few days away from the web app opening, from early access, and do we have like any bronze players like Opara? We don't know the makeup of this. I mean, if his agility is like 82 or something, that may make Opara even more OP, something like that. But like, how many, are there any bronze cards out here at this point? Let me just go to bronze. How many bronzes are in the database? So we have just a few bronzes from some of the bigger leagues, like I guess when like Dortmund released their team, Wolfsburg, it looks like Milan. So we've got a couple things. It's just crazy that I don't know if we've ever pushed it this close for the database to not be complete. I know even another big player, Mason Greenwood, had not had his stats out there. Let's see if he's got his yet. I mean, and that makes a big difference. I mean, when you just see 81 pace, you see 78 shooting, you don't know if that's 99 finishing and 22 volleys or what exactly that is, but it's really crazy that at this stage of the game, we are still missing some chunks of the database. It's really, really crazy. So Greenwood, could be okay at the beginning. He doesn't have a lot of pace. His shooting is okay. He may be a little stiff where he's tall, but, I really don't know. All right, Snow says use Opera, a free VPN and an ad block. Okay, that sounds good, brother. All right, so I mean, I feel bad on some of that stuff, like ad blockers on that type of stuff, because I know, like, personally on YouTube videos, people use ad blockers on those, and that hurts the revenue of the creator. So I do feel bad using certain ad blockers. I think Footbin, I may need to look into that, has like a paid option. I haven't explored it enough to see if that eliminates the ads, but I want to make sure people can make their money from all of their work. But all right, that's a good idea, Mbabu. That's probably what we need to start focusing on soon too, is like what we want to do for our next what we want to craft by weekend league time. Hey, Peter, how you doing? Thanks so much. Hey, Blue-Eyed Girl, how you doing? Thanks so much for hanging out. But yeah, it's still just crazy to me that we don't have some of these. Like, I don't know Opara's full-on stats, but you can turn it off for certain websites. I've got your snows. But we've talked about yesterday, we talked about Mario Hermoso, and I think he's going to be really nice because of his agility. Berchichi is actually one of my favorite left backs. Let me show you what I am liking about Berchichi. Let me just find a new tab here. Let me just do this Twitter one right here. Actually, that was probably perfect. Follow me on Twitter at petedaddyFIFA. I've got it right here. This was my post earlier. There are only 5 gold left backs with over 80 defensive awareness and 80 pace in FIFA. So higher defensive awareness is supposed to be the key factor for impacting defensive personality. So there's only 5 left backs with over 80 pace and 80 defensive awareness, and one of those is Yuri Berchichi. So this Berchichi card could be really strong. Tellus is always a really strong left back. Tagliafico could be strong. Sandro could be a strong one, and Andrew Robertson. But Robertson and Sandro are probably going to be pretty expensive. Tagliafico could be expensive because that's going to be like people are going to want to link Quincy Promise with Tagliafico and some of the Ajax players, so Tagliafico could be expensive. Tellus may be a little expensive with his Brazilian links and just being one of the best left backs. But Berchichi could go just a little bit under the radar, so that could be good. So let's see. Blue-Eyed Girl's looking for cheap meals that are nutritional. So, I mean, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Oh, you're looking for a Nutrisystem. Okay. Fast forward. Yeah, exactly. And Babu, fast forward time to Thursday. So what is it going to be? Is it Wednesday that we get the web app, and then Thursday when we have the game? So going to be pretty crazy. But like I said, Berchichi, we go left, right, and center on this here. But Berchichi, I do really like. I'm really liking this back line here, other than I would like to figure out a way to get Yedlin on full Kim. But I know that kind of messes up his Vela right here, or his Dos Santos. Maybe could have something else, because Opara has to have 2 links to be able to get onto that 7 or 8 chemistry. Appreciate that, Kaiko. You can get a Burger King Whopper, just eat the wrapper. Okay, that probably not as nutritious as Blue-Eyed Girl's looking for, but not a bad idea, JGH. So I'm digging the back line here. I love Matuidi. I think Matuidi is going to be one of the best CDMs in the game. However, just going to be very hard to link. I think Pavone and Martinez and Vela are strong cards. And so I think those are nice. And then if we come over here on Dos Santos, I think is a decent card, but he's starting to get a little bit low on the pace. And then Pozuelo, I think he's just got a little bit of pace. Hold on, I was getting some notifications on my phone. Okay, that's okay. But yeah, I think Vela, but what I worry about, again, we talked about this, pace, pace, pace. Yeah, Vela would be on 10 Kim with loyalty, but you would have to have another MLS player here. So he doesn't need the strong link. Dos Santos would not be on 10 Kim without the Vela because he doesn't have the link. Could maybe, I mean, I don't know, you have to either find another MLS player. I don't know, it makes it hard because you're trying to get some of these guys linked in there. Maybe you could find a different formation. Pozuelo, in my opinion, I would rather have someone else there just because that 65 pace, I think, makes it a little bit unusable. Yeah, someone's spamming my phone. But yeah, overall, like I said, just a little bit of a pace issue here. But I think overall, some really good pieces. I would try to get rid of Pozuelo, maybe find a way to get rid of Dos Santos to also get Yedlin link. But then you're going to mess up Opara. I don't know. It makes it hard whenever you're trying to do this MLS type stuff to get anybody out here. But Fakra had also sent me another squad. Let's take a look at that one. Okay, so this one's more, I got a few of the cards that I am looking to go with at the start of the game. We have Bakambu, who I'm a really big fan of Bakambu just because of his attack positioning is very high. His shooting is decent. His pace is decent. I've looked at this Eder card, but I don't know if he's going to be as good as Bakambu or Teixeira, but not a bad option. But you're kind of working with, You've got 3 guys here that are going to be decent. I would probably, I guess, let's see, Paulinho and Fred, I'm guessing would be your CDMs. I personally would like a little bit more pace on the wing. I'm guessing he'd put Talisca as a cam and then put Eder. So Neto, Lodi. Okay, I see. Okay, and Babu's sending me another team. I've got you, brother. I'll build that here in just a second. And then for your back line here, I think Renan Lodi is a great start. And I think Emerson is solid. But then Sydney and David Luiz and are going to be a little bit slow. David Luiz especially. Like, let's take a look at David Luiz's card. I think I can just click on it right here, right? Okay. So David Luiz has 59 acceleration, 61 sprint speed. And that's just, for me personally, that's just not going to cut it. Just not going to cut it. I mean, he's got fine defensive stats. His agility is not terrible for someone with the pace, but again, pace is what you've got to have. So, you may be able to find someone better. You just need a little bit more pace right there. You maybe could do something because Paulinho will already be linked. You could maybe put Mario Hermoso here because that would also be La Liga. It would also have an Atletico Madrid link to Renan Lodi, and then maybe change the keeper to just a La Liga keeper. So that's probably what I would do on this team. Change David Luiz to Mario Hermoso. You'd have 2 Atletico Madrid links. Paulinho is still fine because he's got the green link. It's actually, that's the hyperlink actually because they play for the same team as well. So Paulinho doesn't need anything else. Put Mario Hermoso here. Put a Spanish keeper here, or a La Liga keeper here, and you're golden. And that's going to work out, I think, better for you. But overall, really solid team there from Fakra. And then we have another one. Let's see. This one is from Danilo. Let's take a look at Danilo's. I talked to him a little bit on Discord about this team. So what we have here, we've got the biggest thing I was suggesting on this team. I think Mounier, I mean, when it comes down to it, wing play is so important in FIFA. So if you've got a right back or a left back that just can't keep up with those pacey wingers, it's going to put you at a disadvantage. It's going to get your defensive shape out of whack. So if you have someone like Mounier with 77 pace and you have a winger that gets by, then it just messes up your whole defense. Then your center back's got to slide over to cover that. Your CDM's got to slide back to cover your center back. It just puts your whole defense out of shape. Hey, Dom, how you doing, brother? So, that just kind of, for me, what I suggested on this team, and it may be more expensive, but instead of Mounier and Emre Can, do Zakaria, who may be very expensive. Just keep that in mind. I don't know how that's going to play. I mean, I know Sissoko last year went for crazy money, and Zakaria may be on that level. Thank you, Dom. I appreciate it, brother. So Zakaria, I think, is going to be really nice. This Emre Can card does look nice. I know a lot of people are on that one. There's a couple things I don't like about it personally. I don't like this acceleration and sprint speed spread. We've got 66 acceleration with only 81 sprint speed. Not a lot of agility and balance, but I mean, he is a little bit taller at 6'1", but great defending, great physical stats, solid passing stats, solid shooting stats. I think he would be good, but I think it's going to be a little bit, maybe a little bit pricier than what he's worth. Now, Zakaria, I think, could be very pricey, but we don't know for sure with the Bundesliga. Generally, Bundesliga builds aren't quite as popular. I like a lot of the Bundesliga backline, but I don't like a lot of the Bundesliga attackers this year. They did a lot of them dirty, like Sancho and Gnabry. A lot of them, they were done really dirty. So I don't know how many of the Bundesliga attackers there will be out there, so it may be okay. So Zakaria has 81 acceleration, 85 sprint speed, very, very physical, and he's 6'3", so he's got the pace to keep up with people. He may be slightly clunky, but he's so big and strong and physical out there that I think it's going to be perfect. I mean, who knows? I mean, for a CDM, the jumping's not going to be that big of a deal. But, he's got his strength. He's got the aggression. I mean, that's going to work out really well. 84 defensive awareness. This card looks absolutely brilliant. So what I told Danilo is that I would try to change that to Mbabu and Zakaria, price depending. And now that may not be for your first starter team. Saul, you may not be able to get for your first starter team. But I think Koundé, Upamecano are solid. Areola may be expensive. It's just hard to say with him. He's been OP in previous FIFAs and been kind of expensive, but Hard to say. Carrasco's a nice option. I did my starter team in FIFA 20 with Carrasco when he was still in the Chinese Super League. He went to Atletico Madrid in the winter, so he's now a La Liga player. We had a couple boosted Carrasco cards last year as well. Saul is fine. He's starting to get on that where I don't like that pace level, but overall a really strong team. I think you got a lot of potential here. And let's see, let's build out. Let me go over here to this one. Or let me just build it out over here. Let me go back to this squad. Let's build out Mbabu's team. So he said he's going to do it in a 4-3-2-1. 4-3-2-1 is a good one to do some builds with. A little bit easier to link. Okay, so we've got Neto, who had a fairly big downgrade. You know, I'm not sure why he got the downgrade. He was just the backup at Barca. I mean, I guess you can't put him. Was he 84 or 85 last year? Whatever he was, he just seemed to got a kind of a big downgrade. Okay, so Militao and Akanji. Okay, I got you. So Militao was one of them. But I don't think it's going. I think you want him over here. Lodi over here. So this is, I think, what Mbabu is wanting to build for his first weekend league. So Akanji, going with the Akanji and Mbabu link. I told Mbabu he's got to have Mbabu in one of his teams. So there we go. So Mbabu, so Coutinho, Sissoko, and Zakaria. Okay, Bergwijn, first player of the month at striker, and then Lucas Moura. Okay, so you've got Zakaria was one. So let's get Zakaria out here. Who else did you have? Oh, Coutinho. And you had Sissoko, okay. And then here you wanted Bergwijn. Here was going to be the player of the month. Mbabu's already said he's going to definitely do the first Premier League player of the month. And at the right, who did you say you're going to have on the right? Oh, Lucas. Okay, and then Lucas would be Lucas Moura on the right. Okay, so this is what. Now, how were you linking Coutinho? Were you going to do Coutinho here, I guess? So Coutinho there, then Sissoko would link with the Tottenham boys. Coutinho's getting the two links right there. So that would be perfect for Coutinho. You're hoping okay, he could win. Right now, I mean, it may depend on the Tottenham match tomorrow. I know Heung Min Son, Harry Kane have a leg to stand on. Zaha maybe has a leg to stand on. I'm not for sure. But, you know, you've got several people out there with legs to stand on, and it's just all going to depend on how they price it. I know last year the first player of the month was Teemu Pukki. A lot of people completed him. It wasn't that expensive. I didn't complete him because I didn't even think it was that great of a card personally. I mean, and people played with him for a little while, but, you know, you've just got to remember those cards are not going to be OP for too long. But yeah, any Prem striker would fit right there because you've got Bergwijn linked, you've got Lucas linked, and then you just need one extra link. Yeah, if Son gets something else, it's probably going to be Son. I mean, having that 4-goal match, it's just really going to depend on what happens tomorrow. I think that's going to be a big deal for that. I mean, like I said, Zaha still has a leg to stand on, but that's going to be really exciting, getting our first Premier League player of the month. But yeah, anyway, let's see what they are suggesting. I mean, Harry Kane, if it's Harry Kane winning because he had that 4-assist game, I think he only had one other goal. He had a goal in that game and 4 assists. I don't think he scored a Premier League goal other than that. I believe he scored in the Europa League, but not in the Premier League. So I would not personally go with Harry Kane if he's the one that ends up winning the Player of the Month, just because his pace, and he's already been downgraded. He's been killed on pace already. Let's see what some of the other options could be for you. I know that Martial card, which is probably going to be crazy expensive. We maybe would have enough coins to get that by the time FIFA 20 rolls. I mean, by the time first weekend league runs around. Hey, AD, how you doing, brother? Another one I like is Vardy. Vardy's going to be crazy expensive. Martial, I think his card could be really strong, but probably, I mean, even Gabriel Jesus could be strong in that role. So, I mean, just depending on what you find. Timo Werner is going to be expensive, but he could be solid as well. So, you know, and Timo Werner's definitely not going to win Player of the Month. He's come close to scoring goals, but still, what is that? 0 goals in 3 games for Timo Werner. So, not able to bang in the goals quite yet. But let's just say we put in Martial. I do like Martial's card quite a bit. I think that is a nice card. And, you know, maybe another option would be Vardy. I think it could be more than that. I don't know. I would think 4-2-3-1 has been pretty much OP for the last several FIFAs, or some version of that with the 2 defensive midfielders. FIFA 18 would be it was 4-1-2-1-2 and then 4-2-2-2 and also 4-2-3-1. It definitely snows. Yeah, send me your stuff. Okay, I appreciate it. Also, if anyone wants to send me their squad, you can send me the last digits of the, like here, if you see this, I don't know if you guys can see that, but at the end, let me just paste this right here into the chat. Wrong link here. Hold on. Still not posting, but at the end, let me just put this right here. At the end of a Footbin squad link, it has like 6 digits. If you just send me those 6 digits, then I can bring up your squad as well if you'd like me to take a look at your squad and, you know, give you my opinion on that. But finishing out in Babu's squad, let me just X out of here. Let's do some price projections. I mean, a lot of it's going to depend. I mean, Militao could be expensive. I mean, it's going to depend. Some of that, I mean, you may be able to get that for 150,000. You could be right after I look at it again. It may not be that bad. I mean, even if Zakaria is in that 20,000 range, Sissoko as a 79, I can't see him being in that 30, 40, 50,000 coin range again as a 79 rated player. You know, maybe 10,000 if people are playing with him and he still feels OP, potentially. So Dom has still not do that yet. Prim is always a little pricier. And generally, even in my opinion, a lot of times the Prim cards are not as good. You know, especially for what the tax you basically pay in, the Premier League tax on them makes it a little bit rougher when you have to do that. All right, let's take a look. Let's see if we can build Snow's team. Okay, send me the rest of your team, Snows, that you want to build. I know you've sent me another team or two. Like, let's see. This one, Snows sent to me. It was a very similar number. Snows had sent me this one early. We had talked about this a little bit on Discord. And definitely check the description. Join my Discord server. We have a lot of fun over there. I'd really appreciate that. But on this one, the main thing I said to Snows was that I think Saint-Maximin may be too expensive at the start. Hernandez is going to be expensive. Emre Can's going to be expensive. Klosterman's going to be expensive. So it's going to be a few pricey players right here. So let's see. Neto 3 to 5K. Lodi 10K. Militao 20. Akanji. Yeah, it's probably somewhere in that range. I think Lucas could maybe be a little... Bergwijn and Lucas could potentially be a little bit more expensive. But yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think you're on the right ballpark there in Babu. So Snows had sent me that. Then he sent me another one. I think kind of brought the price down a little bit. Yeah, so let's take a look at this one. So now we've got Bamba, Camera. Klosterman could still be a little expensive, but it's just going to depend on those Bundesliga. Personally, I would say, you know, just to give some other tips here, in my opinion, the best backline you could have or could, you know, kind of hope for at the beginning would be some of these Bundesliga players. So, like, if we look at, to me, the best, like, early backline, and I'm not even that excited about, let me just sort it by pace right here. Klosterman doesn't even excite me that much. Yeah, you could certainly use Dembele or Sissoko. It just kind of depends on what goes with the what the market ends up doing. But Klosterman, what I don't like about Klosterman is his agility at 63. He's got, and then he's also got the weird spread. However, if you wanted to put a shadow on him, it would make him 94 acceleration, 98 sprint speed, which would be pretty pacey. And his physical is not that great. So, I mean, I think he's fine, but I think he's going to be more expensive. And that's kind of what it's about early on. You're wanting to find players at a good value. And in my opinion, players like Klosterman and Emre Can may be too expensive for what they bring to the table. But we'll just end up having to see what happens with the market. The markets always do things you don't necessarily anticipate. But I think this Alaba card looks really nice as a center back. You know, decent agility, nice pace. If you put a shadow on him, would be 93 acceleration, 87 sprint speed, so he'd be able to twist and turn a little bit more, be able to move a little bit better than Klosterman, in my opinion. And then I also really like, got off of it, go back here to flip in. The other Bundesliga center back I like a lot. Get off of here. And center backs and sort by pace. Again, this is when I sort, pace is one of the #1 things I always sort for. So Akanji looks solid, but I also really like this Lucas Hernandez. And he was one of the best early center backs in FIFA 20. I also think he's going to be one of the best in FIFA 21 because he's got solid agility, solid acceleration, solid just overall defensive stats. Plus, he gives you some nice links if you wanted to go something with Alphonso Davies at left back, if you wanted to go Ruslan, if you even wanted to go Ferland Mendy, who's going to be really pricey. All right, let's see. And Babu's going to buy 4.6k points at the very start, so you can get a few coins to fund the team. I'm still undecided on that. I don't know if I'm going to do a full-on just Road to Glory, if people even care about those anymore, or if I'm generally what I've done at the beginning of every FIFA is buy 24,000 FIFA points. That's generally what I do. Open packs, just kind of get my team rolling, get something going to where I can kind of do some trading, do some different things. And then I generally do not put any more coins back into the game or any more money back into the game. But this year, it's just like, how can you, in good conscience, give money to EA with everything that has happened? It's just hard to do that. Yeah, that's generally what I mean, and that was last year. That's went down. I mean, every year it's went down. I mean, I'd say FIFA 17, 18, it was, I know FIFA 18 I spent way too much money, but I mean, I enjoyed the game. FIFA 19, I did not enjoy the game. I bought it at the beginning, didn't put anything else, and then FIFA 20, same thing. I think overall I enjoyed FIFA 20 less gameplay-wise. I think the menu system stuff was better in FIFA 20, but the gameplay, and I talked about that a lot. The gameplay in FIFA 20 in good connection was nice, was a solid game, but yeah, there. So you're going to grind. Yeah, squad battles is the way to go early. I don't play rivals early. Yeah, my normal thing is I go for Elite 1 in squad battles. If I can stomach it, I may try to go for a top 100 in squad battles. It would just be fun. If I can stomach playing the AI that much, I don't know that I can. If I can put in, 40 games of squad battles. I mean, I know it would be helpful and it would be nice for content, but when you go for Elite 1, generally what you can do is play like 20 on legendary difficulty, and then you can play like 20 on like beginner difficulty. And what I like to do is just play beginner difficulty, score my 5 goals, and put it down. But that's, and Babu, you're coming around to my thinking. That's exactly what I do. I do not go into rivals until I have a competitive squad. I don't want to go into matches with ill-fit players. I want to have, I mean, and that's what it's about. It's about getting these players, building your team up, and then going into competition and being able to dominate people. Exactly. You don't want to rage. But I'm curious how it's going to be for me if I do not put any coins onto the game, if anything happens from that. I don't know how that's going to work out. I really don't, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I know that we'll have some of those early SBCs that I can do, but I may end up just putting coins into the game. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Yeah, the start of FIFA is one of the happiest times of the year, and that's the reason when I restarted at Christmas, I was just pretty much fed up with FIFA 20 last year, so I needed to restart to kind of have that fun, that beginning of the game fun again, and so I really enjoyed that. And then, but once you get your teams back up, it's hard to get yourself up for it other than just trying to grind out some really high finishes and weekend league. It was kind of fun restarting at Christmas because after my placement matches, I started in Division 4. I won all my placement matches, so I'm not sure if you can start higher than Division 4 or not. But then, grinding back up to Division 1 was a lot of fun. So I don't know if I'll end up doing that, restarting again. Maybe when the new Xbox or new PlayStation comes out, I'll restart my team. I don't know what I'm going to do. We've got a lot of things that we'll have to try to figure out this year, but we will go for that. But let's take a look at some of these other popular players. Reece James is on here. I would still die for this Puskas. I know that one looks absolutely insane, but just remember, Only the base and mid version of icons is going to be out in packs early, so you're not even going to see the prime version. Puskas is one of those icons where the base and mid version are going to be usable, so if you could somehow have a miracle of packing one of those, would be absolutely epic. Yeah, I'm the same way in Babu. I don't play squad battles much after once the game gets going. It's just not something I do. I maybe sometimes will play a game on beginner if I'm like out of squad fitnesses, but now squad fitnesses are no longer there, but I just really don't play all that type of stuff. I feel like there will be, last year there was a Dembele one to watch objective. He never even ended up getting a team of the week card or anything to raise his price by any means, but you know, I'm sure they will have some type of ones to watch objective early on. That's probably the next thing I need to work on, is what I'm going to look for my first weekend league team. I've kind of looked at that some, but like this lamer card, I keep coming back to this one. This one looks really strong in the midfield. He's got really nice defensive awareness, you know, decent movement, nice pace. You could even put an engine on him and make him more into like a two-way CDM. You know, I don't know. That one looks really nice. Another one I'm really eyeing up, but it's going to be really expensive, but maybe by my first weekend league. Frankie de Jong is a really nice card because if you see there, 83 agility, his movement is on point. His defensive stats, I don't know if that's lower or not than FIFA 20, but his defending felt strong in FIFA 20. So I don't know if he's going to be as good of a defender because that, like the pitch note said, defensive awareness is going to impact defensive personality. So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen there. And then, of course, if you get de Jong, then you can also have a link with Dembele. Dembele is now on the left. Yeah, Valverde would be nice. Llorente could be good. He's another one kind of like Emre Can. I'm not as in love with him as a lot of people are, but I think that Llorente could be a solid card. Dembele, the thing I'm worried about on him this year is his attack positioning is 77. So if the attack positioning is as important as they say in the pitch notes, Dembele may not be as strong. I'm not sure how much that will impact wingers, you know, because his best position is probably as a wide cam, you know, with his 5-star weak foot and 5-star skill moves would also be amazing for a central cam, but I don't know if his shooting is good enough for that. I don't know. It's another one I'm really curious about what will happen with Dembele. And let's just look at some of the other Barcelona boys. And I'd be curious to see who's going to be the OP keeper this year. I know Ter Stegen was an absolute monster in FIFA 20. Will he be the monster in FIFA 21? I don't know. I've got some teams kind of based around Ter Stegen. Like, I guess I have looked a little bit at what I want for my first weekend league. Lenglet still looks like a monster. However, a lot of times those cards that, you know, not those, I mean, someone like Virgil at that rating is going to be great FIFA to FIFA. Someone like Lenglet is kind of a little bit more down, you know, not quite a 90 rated card. They may be good one year and not good the next. So just sometimes happens that way. But I think this Lenglet card overall looks strong. I know his agility and balance is a lot poorer than what I normally look for, but he just seemed to move better in game. He has 90 defensive awareness, which is really nice, and decent strength and aggression for a center back. So I don't know. Oh, Southampton scored. There goes your Pope clean sheet. Oh no. Oh no, and Babu. Let's see. I haven't even checked that score. Let's see what's going on in that match. Oh, that was early. Yeah, we're just barely after 3. Yeah, Southampton already scored. Messed up your clean sheet. I still can't believe that Chelsea score, that Chelsea was able to come back. But absolute craziness messing up Mbabu's fantasy team. How dare you? But anyways, boys, I just wanted to come on for a few minutes, take a look at a few starter squads. I'm going to get off for now. I'm going to work on a few other things, maybe make a video on some starter squads. But thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.